So part 2 of the Elite Rampa videos that I'm going to do. Just about to kick off a Zwift group ride. I'll do that for half an hour, get everything warmed up, and then we'll start some sprint tests, some noise tests. So how will it hold up in these sprints? Let's find out. Oh, one thing as well that people picked me up on yesterday, the setting for the wheel needed to be on the 28-inch setting, which just quickly means this had to be brought back one set of bolts there. So all sorted now. The unit is actually asleep right now. You can see it's plugged in, turned on, but nothing's on there. Let's see how much power it's using. It's currently drawing 1.3 watts. So if you were to leave this plugged in, 1.3 watt draw. I've also gone out for a ride today, so one of the first things I'm going to do is clean this rear tyre before we put it on this roller here. It's always a good habit to use a clean tyre on this roller to ensure maximum life. Let's get it on. Well, the bike on there. The bike doesn't sit too high off the ground there as well. There's only probably a finger clearance there. Probably no real need to put any chock under the front wheel. Those who know me, I love my yellow pages and white pages. Look at that, that's infinitely adjustable. So what I'll do, I always like to have the bike up a little bit. Just going to use probably about that much. We're going to go to Melton Medical Clinic. Okay, thanks guys. Bike is locked in nice and tight. We've got that steel skewer in, and there's no play at all in that. That's locked in nice and tight. Everything's good to go. Flywheel's on, locked in. Okay, 20-minute warm-up done on the hump day ride with the bunch there. That was a bit of fun. Even a 1% change in gradient on Zwift, I could feel through the pedals, which is quite responsive for a tyre-on unit. I was pretty impressed with that. For the first sprint, I'm going to use the Quark as the power source to see if we can spike over that 800 watt limit. And we'll use the Rampa as the resistance unit. I'm keen to see if it spins out in the 5311 I have on. I'm lined up for the Richmond sprint now, the short one, which is going to be about a 13-second all-out effort after a good ramp up, about 400 and 450 watts to get a good time for that. And the next time around, I'll do exactly the same sprint, but I'll use the Rampa as both the power source and the resistance unit. So the quoted 800 watt limit of the unit, we'll see how that goes when we're paired with the Quark as the power source, and then the next sprint paired with the Rampa as the power source. I'm keen to see how it operates. So everything's off in this room, fans are off, music's off. It's hard to capture the sound because every environment's different and every camera and microphone picks things up differently. So I'll put it in the same spot as I've put my other videos. We'll see what happens. All right, let's roll. Whew. Okay, don't go too hard on me. Haven't sprinted in a while, so got the green jersey. With the Quark, the unit allowed me to go way over that 800 watts. Just from my visuals of the power reading off the unit itself, it's about 880 or so, so you can boost past that 800 number. The unit held up really well in that sprint. Stability's fine, no tyre slip, bike didn't creep forward at all. Thumbs up from me on that. It's just the engine that needs some work. So for the second sprint here, I'm going to be using the power from the Rampa itself as well. I expect to see it around the 800 zones, 850 maybe, depending on the legs. But we'll do the same test, look at the results. Let's do it. If you look closely in that sprint there, I had the Quark power meter data and the Rampa power meter data shown on the screen at the same time. Very interesting. They were close. They weren't spot on. I put this down to the way they measure power. Don't hang me out to dry on this one. I love accurate power, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But for a sprint, the way these systems work are completely different. The Quark is instant, strain gauge, super accurate. The Rampa is a power estimator. It's not a power meter with strain gauges. So it does pretty well in that respect. The 800 watt limit, we kind of hit that ceiling a little bit. Again, if you want to reverse back through the video, you can see it just nudge over that 800 a little bit, but it won't report too much more than that, whereas the Quark itself will report as much as I can put out, which isn't a lot. We'll get there. I wanted to make sure for the step tests that I do, and when I report on the power accuracy at the lower end, where most people will be using it between 100 and probably 350 watts, I wanted to make sure that's going to be as accurate as possible. So I've shot an email off to the team at Elite, and they've got back to me a little recipe of how to make sure I'm going to get the most accurate power out of my unit. I wasn't planning on this many videos just for one trainer. Part 3, we will then tackle the power accuracy over a step test on the Rampa. You could hear in the sprint test the noise. It wasn't obnoxious, it was there. But have a listen. You can actually hear me slam to the gear change. Super hard to convey what it sounds like over the internet. Even if you put a decibel meter, it depends how far away you are. I guess I could do a lineup comparison from all the trainers I have. That's a whole 2 or 3 days of work. We may get there. Okay, so I've got some homework to do before we get to part 3 on the actual power accuracy of this unit. My overall feel of the unit's pretty good. There's good inertia, good road feel, and the responsiveness in Zwift that I've used has actually been quite good. There's no real delay before the resistance kicks in or kicks out, so it's holding up pretty well. Okay, I've got to get to it. I've got a lot of work to do before part 3. Thanks for watching.